Alright, fishing at a lake tonight for bluegill and pumpkinseed sunfish. Just setting up on the shallow side here with 3-way slip sinker rigs and nightcrawlers. I'm going to try and push through some numbers, see if I can get a big one by the end of the evening. Just got a few hours here total to fish. Yeah, just a small bluegill started off. Taking it once it hits the water. I'm fishing the shallow side of the lake. It goes from pretty deep to really shallow, so I can fish the transition. Usually pumpkin seeds and bluegill will stack up differently depending on the time of year. Another bluegill here. When I say they stack up differently, I mean you'll get a school of each type of fish in different water depths depending on the water conditions, you know, which change depending on the time of year. Like when they spawn, you'll see groups of pumpkin seeds spawn a little different than groups of bluegill, but that's earlier in the year. You know, so I kind of try to figure out exactly where they are each time I come, and then fish that spot the most, that water depth. That's why I like hanging out on the transition. Crazy hot action. Getting a hit every cast, probably 1 to 2 seconds after it hits the water. I've probably been here 5 minutes already, like including setting up everything. Once I got here. This is gonna be a good night, I think. Oh, awesome, beautiful pumpkin seed. That's what I'm looking for, some bigger fish, some 9+. I don't know if he's 9+, but look at the colors. It's probably, I don't know, 8.5 or so. But really pretty fish. Just super hot action. Most of them are right in the transition zone, it seems. Between where it goes deep and shallow right now. Sometimes they'll be super shallow bedding, you know, a foot deep or 1.5 feet deep over in that stuff. Sometimes they'll be out in the middle, and sometimes they'll be in between that, you know, right on the edge, because they'll be moving from one to the other as the seasons change or something changes about the water. This guy seems really small. Barely bending the rod. Or maybe he's just caught. He's not tiny. He's a nice one. Beautiful pumpkin seed. Wow. He's barely fighting at all. You know, not too long. Probably, you know, 8 something, but real tall in the back. The reason I like to bottom fish for these guys, at least in this situation with the 3-way slip sinker rigs, is once you find where they're staging, like the section of the lake, like from here to here, let's say, if that's what it is, that stretch goes all the way across the lake, and I can cast the bottom rig way farther out than I can a float rig. You know, I think the float rigs are great for certain situations, but that's why I like to use a bottom one for this situation, just so I can get it out farther and cover more area, get more fish. Started to slow down a little bit, so I set up a second pole with a 3-way slip sinker rig. You know, I like to use light line. I have 4-pound test on this one, a little heavier, probably 6 on this one. I'd definitely use 4 on both of them if I had 2 reels with 4, just so I can get it out further. Same reason I'm using the bottom rig to begin with. Another beautiful pea seed, darker one. Not very long though, just nice colors. That one feels a little better. They go sideways, it kind of feels like flying a kite, the way they just like zigzag side to side and glide. You know, I kind of said this already and it's pretty obvious, but because I have so much reach in my casting distance, once I thin them out of the first hot spot I just look for a place in the water that looks similar depth, similar structure, like a weed bed or something, if that's where they're at. And oh yeah, look at that beauty, wow. That is a great pea seed. Just real thick. You know, and I start hitting the new spots just the same as the first spot, and that's how I rack up a better number. You know, most of the lakes I fish, pretty much all of them almost, just have bluegills and pumpkin seeds. You know, this region, almost all the sunfish around here, bluegills and pumpkin seeds. I've caught 2 other types in weird places, rivers and creeks, but the one thing that I might also catch here is a hybrid. So, you know, I'm a little rusty on telling hybrids, especially if they're mostly a strain of one or the other, like a bluegill or pumpkin seed, so I might screw that up, but try my best. Finally getting a double header. Usually happens more often than it has tonight. It's a little bit slow, but still getting a decent number. Shoot. Looking for some big size though. I want a 11 plus bluegill or a 10 plus pea seed. That would really make me happy. Still nothing big yet. Just cycling through the numbers. Hoping to pick a big one up before I leave. Or at least a nice solid one. Yeah, another bluegill. Usually, you know, more often than not, I used to do a lot of sun fishing, and this is one of the biggest things I observed with trophy fishing for sunfish. It's more often than not, when the sun sets, you'll get the biggest ones of the day. Not 100% of the time, but usually. That's where most of my sunfish PBs came from. It was right around twilight. Some weeds on the line. There we go. Oh, didn't get it off yet. Oh, double header. Oh, another beautiful pea seed. Man, I love pea seeds. Colors are just amazing. Like even these fins right here. It's like copper orange. There we go. 2 at once. Just kind of reel them in. These small guys, like the 8-inchers, don't fight hard at all. Once you start getting 10s though, they put up a pretty good fight. Used to get a lot better size out of this lake years ago. Something happened last couple of years, been noticing. You know, the average size is just smaller. Still get a few quality fish though. You know, there's still 10, 11 potential for sure. There we go. Yeah, this is just a little guy. You know, I used to get a sunfish 10 inches or real close every single time it came down. And some big numbers too, but times have changed. You know, the average is just different, so I have to really work for bigger ones now. If I don't get one this trip, it's okay, I guess. It's just how the cards play out. I don't know if that's weeds or that's all him. Might be weeds, hard to tell. If that's him, he's not tiny at least. That's all him. Maybe just a feisty one. Oh, he's good sized, wow. That was all him. It's a nice pumpkin seed. Nothing wrong with that. Real tall in the back. Oh, these rods aren't perfect for this. I'd probably rather use like a you know, a lighter power rod, just because it'd be more fun. You know, but these are what I got. I mostly fish for walleye and smallmouth, so use these medium power fast action rods for this when I do it. One feels a little better. You know, this is probably like a normal amount of action, if anything. And I'm just doing this for a couple or a few hours tonight. I used to do this all the time years ago, over like a 12-hour day. I'd do it a few times a week for like 12 hours a day. And I'm sure you can imagine, like, it would stay steady. It would be this much action the whole day. So I'm sure you can imagine how many fish I caught. You know, a lot of sunfish. Yeah, another gill. It's looking pretty good, but I don't think he's huge. It's probably not that big. Seems like I was getting more tiny ones on this side, so it's good to see them getting at least yeah, the big ones on this side are like pea seeds. See, that's the thing. The bluegills and pea seeds sometimes hang out in different spots. I'm getting small bluegills out of the shallows and better pea seeds in the shallows and the deep, and then the bigger bluegills over there. That's just how it is tonight. It'll change. Oh wow. That guy's really bending the rod. One thing you gotta watch out for with the bigger ones is sometimes they're a little bit smarter, it seems. I've had a lot more real heavy ones just go straight into some junk on shore or somewhere. Really annoying, because it takes so much work to find them. Oh, this is a bass. That's why it's so heavy. Thought this was a sunny. Man. Yeah, bass on half a nightcrawler. Stay out of the stuff. He's trying to do it too. Yep, he did it. There we go. Got him out. To meet him halfway here. There we go. Just a small largemouth. That's a sunfish for sure. It's wiggling. They always go straight for that stuff whenever they're better. Stay out of that, man. It's like a tree right there. That's a... Man, getting a lot of nice pumpkin seeds tonight. No nice bluegills. Kind of backwards. You know, not huge ones, but quality ones. Another little guy. Right now is prime time, you know. Right now until it gets dark out. Usually I pick up, you know, not every time, but usually I'll pick up a big one around this time. Like one pushing 10, or a 10 or something like that. At least in the past. More often than not. Starting to get dark out. I don't know if I'm going to get a big one, but either way, that's alright. Got some good numbers today. You know, well, there's a nice bluegill. See, it's, you know, not a big bluegill, but might be the best one. One of the better ones of the trip for sure. And it's right around dark. You know, better class fish usually start hitting around dark for sunfish. Brought a headlamp because I kind of expect to be fishing around dark until they turn off. Oh man, still hitting, been hitting just as consistent the whole time. I mean, first 5 fish were real fast hits, but after that, you know, 30-second hits usually for the last few hours or something like that. Might be the best bluegill of the day, maybe barely. Probably 9 or a little over 9. You know, nothing huge, but quality gill, I guess. This used to be like the average fish out of this lake, believe it or not. In a 100 fish day, it would be that big. Still hoping for a real big one. Those bluegills are going up in size for sure. It's just a little, I don't know, I think this is a hybrid. There's markings of both of them. Yeah, still hot action. Really hasn't changed at all. Picking up, if anything, towards twilight here. Oh man, look at that one. That's a great one. It's another thick, tall-back beauty. Pea-seed or pea-seed bluegill hybrid. I think this is going to be the last one. Might be. Oh no, go on the other line. Go back and forth so much, it's hard to have a bunch of rods out at once. Yeah, he crossed my line. Another decent gill. You know, on the small side, but nothing to complain about.